Let's see if we're running.
Someone else is joining here. I can't see him.
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another episode live from Jerusalem with Rabbi Chaim Goldberg, folks, with our class in Vilnius. And we're joined today by Timothy in Nova Scotia. We've got Oleg joining us. I believe, Oleg, are you in
Czech.
Prague, Czech Republic.
You're in the Czech Republic. So we've got Oleg from the Czech Republic. And, folks, you know, I know we haven't done a broadcast in a while, folks, but I had a computer problem where my computer actually fried. My motherboard, it actually died. And these things happen once in a while. I have fat sausage fingers. And I've been working on that computer for a lot of years and have wonderful high-end parts in it, and it just gave up the ghost. I obviously pushed a little too hard on one thing, and so I was probably at fault. But Hashem is great and merciful, and yeah, I got a brand new computer, so we're up and running, and we're joined by Rabbi Chaim, and he is setting up his class, and we're going to continue on with the book of Genesis, which I am thoroughly enjoying. Always picking up lots and lots of information that really help me understand more. And, you know, just when you think you know it all, somebody comes along and teaches you something you've never heard before.
No, it's okay. Thank you very much, Ramdan. I think that you need to start with presenting the most amazing thing that I saw in the last few months. This new magazine that you're starting to broadcast, to share, and please say a few words and show us something from this magazine.
Ooh, I haven't set anything up. I mean, I went public yesterday with the magazine cover, but let's see if I can pull up I'm going to pull up a video. I'm going to try and play a video for you. Give me 1 second here to find it, and I'm going to play this video for the broadcast. Now, this is not coming out till this week, so this is a promo, a minute and a half promo video about the magazine. So check this out, folks.
But you need to share with us your screen. How can you do that?
I cannot at the moment. I wasn't prepared for it, Rabbi. But it is playing.
Yes, we can hear that. On the broadcast. Okay, I will tell people, because you're very shy. Basically, Dan prepared a very amazing, long, real magazine that most of the people there that is writing down things and sharing things are people from the Noahide community. It's true that he also gave a very nice place also to me. I also sent an article there, and also Rabbi Sherky. And Dan it's very important for Dan also that it will be connected to Israel, and this is how it's connected to Israel. I just said to you last time that I spoke with all of you, I got nominated to be the executive director of the Noahide World Community. So I'm not working only with the English people now, but I'm also working with the Spanish people, with the other languages, But for all of them, I have other people that are dealing, and I'm dealing mainly with you. all the English speakers, all of you are going, we are connected already, so we won't be able to get disconnected now. In any case, this magazine is amazing. It's very nice. It's very professional. And you can see it on the YouTube, on the Facebook. You can see, maybe let's share for a moment the Facebook here. Let's move this. I'll try to share Facebook. Here it is. Here we are. No, come on. Just let me see for a moment. We have a Facebook that I can put.
Dan, who are these people whose faces are on the video?
Sorry?
The video that I put together, the minute and a half promo video, I'm not releasing that till the magazine's going to launch this weekend. And all the people are some people, Noahides, that I have met. I got a wonderful friend down in Tennessee named Terry. He does a broadcast out of Sfat, well, with a rabbi in Sfat, Israel. The other people, my friend Larry Beck, out of Texas. Larry had just visited Israel. He's got his kids actually converted to Judaism, and they live around Haifa area. More than that, William Hall, the one at the end, I mean, he hosts the biggest Noahide talk show. He's out of Kingsland, Texas, and he does broadcasts with Rabbi Tovia Singer, Rabbi Michael Skobach, Rabbi Yitzhak Michelson. He does a whole bunch. One of his good friends, a rabbi in Texas, a big fella, Stuart Federer, Rabbi Stuart Federer. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful gentleman. But the 7 that are on there, these are friends. These are Noahide friends. There's one from Vermont, one from Arizona, one from Washington State. I got people in there from all over North America, and I'm actually getting a lot more, which is exciting and cool. I've got friends up in Alaska asking to get involved. I've got people from all over. So Bezrat Hashem, I hope that this really takes off, because it is an actual professional magazine, and Rabbi Chaim's showing you the cover.
Here it is. Now I'm showing you the cover. But at the beginning, I saw only the cover, but after that, Dan also sneaked to me the magazine itself to the Dropbox or something.
Rabbi got the first view, yes.
It's amazing. It really is amazing, those 52 pages. It's so, from one side, it's very exciting. From the other side, it's starting to bring up alive the community. I think that also, with your permission, and I already got asked, I've been asked from my people, I sent them only the cover. I didn't share it with them anything of the magazine, of course, but they asked me if they have a permission to translate this magazine to other languages, to Russian, to Portuguese, to Spanish, to French, to other languages. I said to them, it's 52 pages. It will take you half a year. So, but I'm sure that they want to.
We can do it quick, Rabbi. We can look into that.
Yeah, so I said to them that we can. I will give them, after it will be published, we will continue on. I think that also we will organize from the Noahide community, from us, that we will send you some funds, so you will send us also some hard copy of those magazines that I think that we need also to have some of them. I think that this is a very, not only a good step, but it's a very important step of whoa, Angelica is also with us. Woo, welcome. Wow, Dan, Chacham Dan, she's your friend.
Who? We got Angela
she's
here.
Your girlfriend.
Oh, Angela. I'm sorry, I can't see on the screen. I've got everything. Let's see. Who do we got here?
Okay. So, but I think that it's a very interesting step. And not like we didn't have, because you were in the holidays and I was in the holidays. So we didn't have the time still to find the time to sit down and to speak together. But I think it's an excellent step of starting to move on from not only being all sorts of people around the world, all sorts of dots around the world, but also starting to be connected. And this magazine, I think, is really giving a lot of, first of all, inspiration for people, but also starting to get people to be united, to be closer one to each other. And I'm sure that also we have also here our friends from Lithuania that can decide to translate some of the things to Lithuanian language. And those are things that will help us to establish the community. I think that we spoke already before that, Dan and me, that after a few months like that, in another magazine, I think that in the next magazine, hopefully, we'll also decide to do some sort of a meeting, some sort of a big meeting conference in one place in the United States, and we'll decide a date, and we'll ask everybody to come, and we'll bring also people from Israel. So we're going to build up the community in Canada and the United States. Maybe Atlanta is a good place. I don't know. We need to think about the exact place that we can do that. And from there on to continue on to start to rebuild this community of the Noachite. I can also add that we had a very, very good month with the Brazilian community. There are something like, first of all, it's Portuguese. I don't know Portuguese, okay? My mother knows, but I don't know Portuguese. They have a community, they have something like 20,000 Noachite people in Brazil.
Wow.
20,000. And again, we had an excellent month there. We did a lot of preparation. Rabbi Sherky, okay, the head of our organization, of the Noachite World Center organization, he went to Brazil and he met a lot of people, rabbis, and also a lot of Noachite people. Some of the things, I put a few dots on the internet, but we are going to reorganize all of this to conclude all of this, all the meetings that he had. And we also, this is how we're building it. We have in each language, we have the head of the desk who's sitting in Israel, but we have also people in the fields that are starting to have all the connections, like things that you're doing, Dan, and Angelica, and all of you that are doing all sorts of things. Oleg, when we will start to speak, I will help you to find the right way to start to spread the things. It's like, a stone in the water that is doing all the waves around. So you will see how it's working in your perspective, in your eyes, in your direction, in the things that are good with you and with the time that you have to spend on those things. So I think that we are really getting ahead. This is what I have to say. And this was very, for the conclusion of this month, I think, Dan, it was a nice present. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're inspiring, Rabbi. I want to thank you for all that you do for myself. I mean, just the lessons, just learning the Hebrew words, it brings things alive in a way I haven't had in years. So I'm excited. I'm overjoyed. And Angela, so good to see you.
Bless you. Good to see you too.
Yes, it
All
is. So let's start. Let's also learn a bit of the of the Bible, not only to discuss those things. Oh, it is. This is it. Okay. So let's go inside. Let's dive a bit inside. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
You see my screen. I must say that I prepared something very, very deep inside. So we will do some sort of a summarize because we didn't saw on each other for the last few weeks, for the last 2 weeks, and also we had a breakdown with the learning. We didn't put it on the air in the last 4 weeks. So I will do some sort of a summarize, and then I want to start an interesting idea. I hope maybe we'll manage to finish it today. I'm not sure, but I will manage to show something that it's a bit mind-blowing. This is the only thing that I have to say. As usual, I'm trying to do those things. So I will summarize a few things that we spoke till now. I hope nobody will be bored that I'm returning back
Not
for
at
things that
all.
we spoke. And from there on, we will manage to dive inside for things. We learned chapter number 4 of Genesis. Chapter number 4 is speaking about Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel, it's a very hard story. It's the first murderer in the Bible. And we saw a few important things inside this learning. The first thing that we saw that before we started, that when it's written down, it's chapter number 4 is coming after Adam and Eve were kicked out from Eden. So people can think mistakenly, in a big mistake, that when it says that man knew his wife Eve, and she conceived and the born Cain, and etc., that you can think that everybody was born after the sin of Adam and Eve. But this is a very wrong assumption. And the understanding of this assumption is saying that all of us are born after we had been in the sin, and therefore we need some sort of mercy from God for the things that we are doing. In the Hebrew tradition, it says, and please, Dan, if you can read this part of Rashi. Rashi is a commentator, okay, that we're saying.
All right. Now the man knew. Now this took place prior to the above episode, before he sinned and was banished from the Garden of Eden. Also, the conception and the birth took place before. For if it were written, it would mean that after he had been banished, he had sons. I think that was unique, yes.
So if it was written, Vayeda ha'adam, this word, the second word here, was instead the first one, it was the opposite way, then you can say that man was born after the sin. Cain and Abel were born after the sin. But because it's written down in this way, it's something that is related to the grammar of the Hebrew words. We say that that Cain and Abel were born before the sin. And the understanding, the profound understanding of this point, we explained this already much before, something like 5 weeks ago, is that in the Hebrew tradition, we do believe that each person who is getting born in this world, he is clean from any sin that he have. He is starting his life as a white sheet without any sins. And he doesn't supposed to be redeemed or get mercy from God because that he have any sins. This is a very big difference between how we see things and the Christian world see things. But I want to ask to look in another perspective, that to understand that God is not someone who is trying to be very hard with men. The opposite way around. He is very kind with men. He is very open with men, and he is helping men to start his life from a new white sheet, of the beginning of everything. And from there on, man is probably doing mistakes, but when he will do redemption with himself and getting closer to God, he can erase everything and to become, again, a white, blank sheet of nothing there, because he managed to do redemption and to go back to the beginning of his life. The beginning of his life is without any sins. This is a very important point. We already explained that. It's understanding. And then we have, and now we learned another very important thing. What is the purpose of Cain? And we explained that. We showed that in, just a moment, where it is.
That was very big points.
We showed that the word Cain in Hebrew is basically that he was already accomplished. He was bought. Everything was closed with him. He is excellent. What we explained, that the firstborn baby basically gave his parents some sort of the Messiah for his parents. I will explain that. While God is all the time giving life, and Adam and Eve all the time just took life. Okay? They got life for free. Therefore, they were very separated in their wish, in their will, between God and Adam and Eve. God is all the time giving, and they are all the time in the mood of receiving. It's like they can't get any close one to each other, because they are different in a different realms. God is the giving one, and they are all the time receiving. And if you will ask yourself to receive all the time present from someone else, it's very annoying. It's very hard. Mm-hmm. The only part when Adam and Eve started to feel a bit small, tiny, bitty God, like God, is when they also gave life to someone else.
Right.
And so they managed to bring another life into this world.
Mm-hmm.
She said to herself, I am acquired, a man with the Lord. I'm just similar to him. And Cain was basically the Messiah for Adam and Eve. But the most important, also surprising situation here is what happened with the next person that suddenly is also pumping here in this world. This is Abel. And the word Abel in Hebrew is useless, needless. I don't need him anymore. In the perspective of Cain, he doesn't need anyone else. He is the main person here, and that's it. In the perspective of Abel, he has something else. He has a different mission. We spoke about this at the word in the name of things in Hebrew. It's the name of thing is also his purpose in life. The same thing. It's the same on the same level. The word name in Hebrew, Shem, it's also the purpose of life. So the purpose of Cain was to be the most completeness person who is giving redemption to his parents like the Messiah. And the purpose of Abel is the word achiv. Achiv is from the word brother, but it's also from the word responsibility, and it's also from the word of teaching others. And this is also what he started to be. Cain was a tailor of the soil. He was working, he was shepherd. Shepherd, you see the word shepherd? The word shepherd, we still use it till today. I think, Angelica, you were shepherd for a long time also. The word shepherd is till today, by the way, but today you're doing it in a different level. You're not doing it on the level of the Christian world, or you're doing it in a new level of more closer to God. But the word shepherd is to teach others, and this is the aim. This is the purpose of Abel in this world. He was supposed to teach Cain to understand that there is someone else in this world. And this is something also that we said that if God will have his persistence here in this world, he will show fully himself in this world. We won't have any place here. Okay, it's like the sun with a candle. When you have the sun in the middle of the day and you will put a candle, the candle doesn't bring any light, any more light for this, despite the sun, because the sun is giving so much light, the candle is nothing. If God will put his presence here in front of all of us, in the most hard presence, we will vanish. We will go back inside to God. Therefore, what God did, he moved one step backwards, and he is giving place to others to be here in this world. And this is something that Cain can't understand. For that, he needs someone, his brother, who in his mind was born when there is already someone else here. So he understands that he is secondary and there is someone else much more, I will say, important than him. Mm-hmm. And this is where Abel needs to teach Cain to have also this idea that there is someone else here, just like God, to behave like God. And those are two different missions, two different purposes in life that each one of them have. And this is Cain, this is Abel. And then we saw that when Cain is bringing all sorts of fruits and offering the Lord, he is bringing only the rest of the fruits, okay? The most inferior of the fruit. But while Abel is bringing the most important things, the firstborn, okay? The first things. Again, Abel understands that he is secondary, so he's giving God the firstborn. Cain, who thinks that he is the most important, he is giving God the secondary, the leftovers. Now, another thing that we see, and this is a very important point, the next thing is that God is not, just a moment, or bli muzika. Sorry, my son here is, my youngest one is starting to say that he's alive. Thank God. Now we saw a very surprising thing. While God is offering or is turning around to Abel and not to Cain. Then suddenly, who is a prophet here? Who is a prophet here in verse number 6? The prophet is not Abel. The prophet is Cain. And Lord and the God said to Cain,
Wow.
oops. Why that? Because if Abel is not doing his job, so God's supposed to interfere here. And here we're learning another very important thing. Not only God, he's going backwards and giving space to others. God is also trying to show us the right way. He is, if we don't know how to do it by ourselves, he will go inside, come inside to this world and say to man, whisper to him and say to him, listen to me. Here, this is the way that you need to go. This is the way that it will be the right way. So he's saying him a lot of things here, how to control himself and the best thing to do. And then we saw the most hard thing that we saw last time, that Cain is killing Abel.
Right.
We've learned that there are three main, I will say, reasons why Cain is killing Abel. And those are three issues that are going along history for the main fights that we had along history. It could be because of the fights of places, land. This is my land, this is your land. No, this is my land also. I want this land. Or it might be because of the connection with God, where everyone said, in my place, the temple will be built. And we know that along history, we had a lot of fights that were related to religion issues. And the third explanation that we have here, because the problem is, I'm reminding us, the problem is that in the verse itself, we don't understand what happened there inside, that they got the fight and they killed each other. And the third explanation that we have is that there was another twin, woman twin with those two people. So each one of them were born with one twin, but Abel also had another twin woman, and Cain said, I'm the biggest one here, so therefore give me this twin girl. And Abel said, no, she was born with me, so I need to get her. And we know that along history, this issue of, I will say, sexuality ambitions also brought a lot of problems between people and got a lot of things that people killed one each other. And again, suddenly, we see how God is in a very calm way, is going inside to speak with Abel in a very calm way, okay? To enter with him. Where is Abel, your brother? We know that God knows everything, but even though he spoke with him in to enter with him into mild words, okay? Perhaps he will repeat and say, I killed him. But it's the second time, by the way, in the Bible that God is speaking very nicely with men, also after the first part. And after that, there's a discussion between God and Cain, where while God is, Cain, I will say, saying, I wasn't a murderer, I was only a judge. Abel didn't do his job. He didn't manage to educate me to become a person who understands and giving to others to live here in this world. Therefore, as a judge, I killed him. And God said to him, I think that you killed him because you're a murderer. It's also because you are a bit jealous. And another thing that we see here, that Cain is asking few generations to discover exactly what is the right way, how to deal with him. And God is giving him. This is what we see in the verse number 15. And the Lord said to him, therefore, whoever kills Cain, how do you say it in English? I said,
vengeance.
Vengeance will wrote upon him sevenfold. And he's giving him seven. And another thing that we are learning here from God, he is giving a very long time to understand exactly what is happening here. And God is basically giving him the time for doing redemption. Till here, all the things that we've learned. We learned a bit more. We learned a bit of Hebrew words, okay? The word chanoch. Chanoch is from the word education. The word irad is basically the word Ir. Ir is metropolitan. Ir is a town, but it's also the word Rad. It's going down. We see that while Cain is trying to go out from the nature world and to become a bit more connected one with each other, and not to be through the nature laws all the time by killing and eating, and the stronger one is the best, to try to build up, I will say, to build up here a place where people can start speak one with each other, but it went down and down to something else. Why is this bumping all the time for me? Just a moment, let me close this down. You can hear this. There it is, it's closed. I'm sorry. And then we went to another word for Mechuyael. Mechuyael is the word of God. El is God, and it's going, we are taking this, demolishing it, and then Metushael, it's getting death. Metushael, it's from God. El is getting death. We don't know, we don't recognize any God here. And then we spoke a bit about the word Lamech. I won't go back to this now, okay? And now we see something very new. It's very important for me to do a brief of all of this chapter. Now we see something new, where first time I will read this sentence, and then we will read it also in the commentator Rashi. ויקח לו למך שתי נשים, שם האחת עדה ושם השני צילה. Please, Dan, read this sentence in English.
And Lamech took to himself 2 wives. One was named Ada, and the other was named Zillah.
Okay, so again, in a moment you will also understand a bit the Hebrew words. I said the word is also not, the name is not only a name, it's also the mission of life, their mission of life. But it's the first time that someone is taking 2 women. Why? Why do we need to take 2 women?
Yeah.
There isn't any reason for that. The first time that someone is taking 2 women. Maybe Angelica have an answer. Why do we take 2 women? The truth is very, very hard. Okay. Please read two wives. Please read this, Dan.
2 wives. So was the custom of the generation of the flood, 1 wife for propagation and 1 for marital relations. The one who was for marital relations would be given a potion of roots to drink so that she should become sterile. In some editions, the following does not appear. And he would adorn her like a bride and feed her delicacies, but her companion was neglected and was mourning like a widow. This is what Job explained.
No, it's, you can read it. You can read it, sorry. This is what
Job explained in 24:21. He feeds the barren woman who will not bear, but he does not adorn the widow. This is as explained in the Agada of Chalek in Sanhedrin chapter 10, not found in our religion, but in Genesis Rabbah 23:2.
Okay, so what we see here is something very interesting. Suddenly, we are taking 2 women, okay? One of them, I can explain a bit the words, okay? The word tzila, tzel is a shadow, okay? When you are very hot, you're going under the shadow. And the word tzila is that he took one woman and used it like for his purposes, okay? His needs, without any relation to what she wants. She wants also kids. But he didn't care. He doesn't care for that. He wants a woman that it will be like we say today, okay, that I'm not your toy. Remember this song, I'm not your toy. But he took some woman that she will become his toy. Just a moment. תבדוק רגע אחד למה זה, תזיז לו את היד, למה זה לא מוריד לו את המים? האוכל, בסדר? So he took one that she will be his toy. This is tzila, and this is the word shadow. Like in the shadow, I want that it will be comfortable for me, it will be convenient for me. This one was called the shadow. And the other one, she was only for bringing kids. So suddenly he separated those 2 things. And again, he's using it in a different way, not in the right purpose. And from here, we are learning about 4 main people. Each one of them is reorganizing from the beginning all these, I will say, all this universe, all this generation, all of these people that we have here. We have 4 things. The first one is Ada, okay? She's bringing someone who is named Yaval. The second one is Yuval. The third one, Tzila, okay? She's very, we thought that she's not going to give any birth, but something there was wrong, and she gave birth. Tuval Kain, okay, the first word. And the fourth one is, that he had a sister, okay? And the name of the sister was Naama. So we have 4 people. And each one of them is the head of something, okay? For example, when Ada is giving birth for Yuval, he was the father. You know what, before I explain that, let me go back. Let me go to the 22nd verse, okay? Tzila, she went and she brought someone to this world, and Tubal came, okay? Tubal came. So first of all, the word Tubal and the word Hevel is more or less the same word. But here it's Hevel, Tubal, Hevel, with the word Cain, right? What was the main thing that he did in this world? Who sharpened all tools that cut copper and iron, okay? He took all the metal here in this world, and he started to do from this weapon.
Wow.
Weapon.
Oh,
Now, the first person who did from the material of the, who took scissors, I will say it like that, and used it for the good of the animals, was Abel, that took scissors and he cut from the sheep all the wool, so it would be good for him. So he took these scissors, those metal things, but he used it for good. Now Tubal Cain, who is very in the similar words, I will say it like that, to the word from one side, to the word Abel. Tubal is Abel, and Cain on the other side. He is taking all this metal and starting to do a big industry of how to kill people. Amazing. So now we see for 7 generations ago that also Cain, he was not a judge, but what is he?
Murderer.
Murderer. Okay. Another thing I have to ask. How do you call, who knows what is the name of God who is in charge of, how do you deal with the metal? You need to deal with metal, you need to do a lot of melting it with a lot of warmth, right? So how do you call the alien of this metal workshop? Who knows?
alien in the metal workshop.
The alien of the workshop of the metal.
A blacksmith?
No. Its name is Vulcan, right?
Vulcan.
Vulcan, right? You all remember Vulcan?
From Star
Vulcan.
Trek, yes.
Star Trek.
It's also Star Trek, but Star Trek took it from the
Sure they did, yes.
from the aliens of the Greeks. Okay, well, but let's think for a moment. The word Tubal Cain, it's Vulcan. It's also Vulcan.
It's the origin of the word. I see.
Aliens, understand the aliens. The first person, okay, who was the main person who started to work with all of these metals and to reorganize it and to melt it and to reconstruct it, how it could be a weapon and everything else. The first man was named Vulcan, and after a few generations, it was Alien Vulcan. You see that? Starting to understand what's happening here? Let's go one verse before that. there was someone who is named Jubal. Jubal in Hebrew is Yuval. It's again the two second words or second letters is a name of Hevel, and also the other way Yuval, Hevel again. And he was the first one, the father, he was the alien, I will call it like that, of all who grabs and the iron, the flute.
Lyre and the flute. Musician.
Okay, musician. But who was the first one who used the music to move the shepherd from one place to another one? Remember that? How do they do with this? They're moving the shepherd from one place to another one. They're singing inside this.
Piper, kind of, yeah.
Okay, some sort. So he used it to move the shepherd from one place to another. Suddenly, we managing to find you someone that is taking this art of musician and bringing it to a high level of something systematically, okay, some sort of a way, attraction. This is a way of life. Let's go and start to sing in concerts. He was the first one who managed to bring this to the world, I will call it, of all sorts of arts, music art. So we have here someone who is dealing with everything that is connected to the technology of how to bring up the weapons and to do a lot of things.
Craftsmanship.
This is 22nd verse. We have also someone who is taking all the culture of the music, the alien of the music. And we have also, let's go one step before that, okay? One step before that is
Jabal.
The Jabal, and Jabal is also very, in the Hebrew, Yaval is again the same word, very reminding us all this, the word of Abel, okay? Jabal, Abel, the same word. And he was also sitting down in one place. He wasn't moving from one place to another place. He was sitting down, okay? He was sitting down in one place and managing to move, I will say, not only to lead people, but also to gather a lot of material
life. Yeah.
Exactly, to himself. So we have another alien here. Also, we're speaking about the economic side. This is what we see here, the economic side. We're speaking about the musician side. We're speaking about Tubal Cain, okay, who took all of the
weapons,
copper iron to rebuild things. And then we have another very nice woman. Her name is Naama. Naama in the Hebrew word is Naim, is very fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of good, I will say, good time. It's a woman who came to do for men the good time for themselves. Okay, I will say it in a very hard situation. It's like going to all sorts of places and to see the woman in all sorts of ways that it will be nice and
like a brothel.
A lot of fun for the men's sides. Okay, you said all sorts of ways. So we're speaking about 4 ways that the civilization in this time is going: to the economic side, to the art side, to the technology side, and also to the entertainment side. It's good or bad. All of this we need. All of those 4 things we need. We need the economic side. We need the art side. We need the technology side, and then we also need the entertainment side. It's very important. So if it's good or bad, it depends how much you're going to do it and what you're going to do with this. The very important point that I want to say here, that Naama, as you can see here, she was the wife of.
Oh, really? Yes.
If she was the wife of Noach, so we're saying another very important thing that we see with God, we see that God didn't, in the ark, in the flood, he didn't wipe up all of the generation of Cain. He used someone from Cain.
Right.
He used one side Noah, who came from Shet, we're going to learn in the next chapter, but he also took someone very important from the Cain destiny, Naama, one of the daughters, and she was Noah's wife, and together they built up the next world. And it's very important because now we learned another very important thing, another very important side of God. He is not throwing in the history garbage when he's mad on someone or something like that. He's not throwing him all totally and wiping him off.
Wow.
If he was something there is good. We need to use it. Yes, exactly. And then from here on, till now I spoke very long for half an hour. It's very good. It's okay. I practiced my English for another level. It's okay. My parents will be proud again. So I'm speaking English now. They taught me English. Till now, I want to go, first of all, the end of this chapter is very hard, okay? Those two verses are very hard also. Basically what happened is very interesting. Please, Dan, read here in this part, read what happened there. After seventh generation of Cain.
Hearken to my voice. For his wives separated from being intimate with him because he had slain Cain and Tubal-Cain, his Lamech's son. The story was that Lamech was blind and Tubal-Cain was leading him. He spotted Cain, who appeared to him as an animal, and he told his father to draw the bow, and he killed him. As soon as he learned that it was his grandfather Cain, he clapped his hands together in anguish and clapped his son between them and killed him. So his wives separated from him, and he attempted to appease them.
Okay, so first of all, this is a story in the tradition what happened there, and I want to remind us all that Tubal-Cain, he was the technology guy that reorganized how to kill people, how to do the best weapons to kill animals and to kill people. And suddenly, it's the first time in the Bible that someone is starting to speak with someone else. Okay, Ada and Zillah, hearken to my voice. He's trying to speak with him, but on the other side, he's very, very hiding. I will say some sort of a threat. I killed someone. I killed someone. You know why it's very important that you will listen to me? Because I killed someone. If you won't listen to me, what will happen? I might kill you also. So it's very hard discussion there. And this is what's happening in this situation, in this family. And this is where basically we understand after seventh generation that Cain wasn't a judge, but he was a killer. So even though in the beginning, it wasn't written down that he was a judge. I'm going back to show this. It wasn't written down that he was a killer, okay? It's written down. Let me find this verse. There it is. That Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. It's a very interesting, it's not saying he killed him. It's not saying he murdered him. Slew him. We don't know at this time that he is a murderer. Only after seventh generation, we're starting to see that this, I will say, that this world, those people in this world, this destiny of Cain is a murderer destiny. They are also doing it as an industrial, how to kill people. And then also the father, the grandson is killing his grandfather and his son. Everything there is starting to be very, very, very bad situation. Till now, we just explained a bit what is happening in chapter number 4, and I summarized things that we've learned, and I also finalized everything so we can see a full picture and what is missing in this destiny is something very important. Therefore, the next verse is going to start to explain what is missing and how Adam and Eve is trying to rebuild it. I want to go till now to something very amazing. I'm going to have questions. I'm not going to give answers now. And I'm asking all of you to start to see things in it's a very unique way of looking on things in the Hebrew tradition. Let's move this to the other side. Okay, and the question is when man meets God. Okay, okay. Why this is not going to be a bit bigger? I don't know. Understand what's happening. Now it's a you can't see it, right? It's not good. Let me try to present it for a moment. I know what happened. Just a moment. Now you can see the slides.
Of course.
Can you
yes.
see all of you? Can you see the slides? Okay. So I'm going to look now on life in a very unique way, and I'm going to teach you. We're not going to finish this today for sure. I'm going to have I'm going to lay down some sort of an understanding that is a very, very not only unique, but it's also bringing the way of living in this world in a very right way. And it's related very much to a very interesting question that a very nice lady asked me yesterday in a personal conversation that we had. And the question was, who is the God that you're believing in? Do you believe in God? And who is the God that you're believing in? Do you remember those questions, Angelica? Okay. I will tell you I will tell this like that. I will say it in a principle, and then we're going to dive inside it to see it a bit more. One of the most biggest mistakes that there are in this world, people think that the Hebrew nation, the Judaism, they have some sort of religion. Now, this is I think, the biggest mistake in this world. The Hebrew is not religion, not at all. The Hebrew nation is a nation. And the way that we are doing it, and this is the most biggest difference between us and the rest of the world, is by we are not trying to understand who is God. Because we know that we have no way to understand who is God. We are doing something else. Now, to understand that, this is what I'm writing here, okay? That it's a non-standard and eye-opening way of learning of those things. And the sources of everything that I'm going to speak now are related to the very important inside books that are up of me here. And it might be that I will quote. And we are asking all totally different questions. We're not asking who is God. We're not asking who is God. Again, we are not asking who is God. The truth is we can't understand who is God. So we're not asking that. And to start to understand what is happening here, I'm trying to explain a bit and to show this with the most important person in the 15th century who did an amazing, I will say, deep revolution, okay? And he changed the way that people thought. While most of the people thought, until Copernicus came to this world, that the world is standing, is stable, and everything else is turning around the man. Suddenly, Copernicus came and he said, no. The sun is standing and we are turning around the sun. And there is a really big debate, I will say like that the Christian world was very against it. And the reason is very simple. Because if you say that man is not the most important person in this world, so maybe his actions are not very important. Therefore, we need to, this is what the church said, okay? Yeah. We must say that the most important thing in this world is man.
Center of the universe.
He's centered to the universe and everything, all the universe is around him. But Copernicus was insisting that it's the opposite way around. Let me tell you in brackets that we will never know who exactly is right, because the truth is we are all moving, also the sun, and maybe both of us moving, but relatively, it's true that the sun is standing and we are moving around it. It's also much easier to do all the conclusions if we are looking in this way in life. But he changed everything. It's like, there was a time that I was doing with my family for 3 years. I was living in Australia and I did, we call this a shlichut. I did an important thing in the community there. And I brought most of the friends most of the students that were under my supervision. I shepherded them. Most of them are today living in Israel with their families. This is one of the things that we are doing. We're bringing back all the Jews back to Israel. But when I was in Australia, I don't know if you know, but the water, when it's going down in the bathroom, it's going in the opposite way around than it's going in Israel. Okay, in Israel, it's going...
Coriolis.
Yes, it's going... But I was feeling all the time like I'm standing upside down. Like, I'm standing with my legs up and my head is down. But we know that it's not like that in this world. But basically, Copernicus, this is what he did. Suddenly, everything was upside down. Now, on the same level of understanding, okay, and the same level of awareness, Immanuel Kant did the same thing. Till Immanuel Kant, we were all sure, all of the human beings, except for few rabbis in the Hebrew tradition who wrote things 800 years before Immanuel Kant, words by words like Immanuel Kant, okay? By the way, I must say, let's be, honest and be open here. Also, we can find few similar sentences in Aristotle writings, and we can find also very similar things in the old tradition books that we have even before Aristotle in the Hebrew nation. Okay, but basically what they did, a very interesting thing that was the same, just like the same like Copernicus. He said that everything that we understand is relatively to things that we see outside us. But it's not, you can never understand the exact thing for its phenomena, as he said in his words, okay? Immanuel Kant came and he said that you cannot understand the exact phenomena next to you. Everything that you understand is only things related to the things that are inside your mind.
Right.
It's all relatively to what you feel. I can say that in the last 2 years, the science is going one step ahead with this. I won't go inside of what the science is saying today. If you want, it's a different thing. We can speak about this in a different way. I want to teach you Bible and the way that we are looking on. But those two, I will say, revolutions, and especially the Copernicus revolution, is starting to bring us to the level that we can never understand exactly who is God. So we have a different question. And this different question that we have, and that is also giving us the way to see, to understand, and to behave, this is a thing that we're going to learn next week. Okay? Rabbi. And it's also related to chapter number 4 that we spoke today. So I'm inviting you to come next week to listen to the next stage of this thing. Again, it's a very thought-provoking a way of looking on life. I'm going to explain it in a deep way. As you can see, I have here something like I organized something like 37 slides that we're going to learn, we're going to see. We're going to see deep inside to understand this understanding, and then to see how we can learn from chapter number 4 and why this is the way that we're learning chapter number 4 and what we are gaining and how we are living in our life. And then you will start to understand, all of you, why I'm saying that we are not religion, but we are a nation, that we are behaving in a certain way, and why we are behaving in a certain way, and all over the history. And you will start to see the perspective of how we are learning the Bible. So till now, it was, if you have any questions, anything you want to ask, to speak, to note, to say, to scream at me, this is your time.
Rabbi, this really has to do with our human ability for knowledge, okay, period. Our human ability for knowledge. And when it comes to understanding God, we need to come to that realization. I can't fully understand Hashem. I just cannot. Is that really what you're bringing across? We can know to a degree, but that knowledge, this comes down to really what knowledge we can have? What's that degree of connectivity?
Now, first of all, what you're saying is good, but it's more reminding that we don't understand fully his behavior to us. I'm not speaking only on this level. I'm speaking about the deeper level. We have a long history, and especially in the churches that hold it from one side, they kept or they hold all the religion side, and until 200 years ago, they also kept all the not only the religion, but also the knowledge side. Okay, everything was supposed to be connected with what the church decided to do. And if you will think about this, you will see that most of the universities, not most, all of the universities, were all related to churches, very important churches in this life. But they also had what we call the theology side of knowledge. And they all the time asked themselves, what is God? How can we see God? How can we understand God? The question, what is God, is a wrong question. It's a wrong question. It's even before how he is behaving with us. That this is another question. It's related to other very interesting inside books, how he's relating here and how he's working here, and why do we have bad things here. I will tell here, I can say it here, one of the reasons why Rabbi Cherki went to Brazil, he was invited with a very important person that learned with him for every day for a few hours. And one of the most important things that they were speaking about is an old man, and he's an old man. Also, he's not. I will say he sees in front of him already that it might be that he's going to finish his life in the next coming 20 years. I will say it like that. And he had a lot of questions about good and bad in this world. And what you said is more related to the question of good and bad in this world. It's another question. We'll deal about this question again next time. Not next time. We'll deal about this question also in Genesis. I'm speaking here about something else. I'm speaking here about the main question. What is God? When I'm asking someone, do you believe in God? What God do you believe in? Usually people misunderstanding this second question when I'm saying, what God do you believe in? And they're trying to describe God as someone who is the Almighty, created this world, is the most perfect thing and everything else. And those are words and those are descriptions that were given to our world through the history of the Christian world and the churches. And it's a wrong question, and it's leading to something, I will say, amazing, that you can't live with this. And at the end of days, it's bringing to a lot of wars. And this is also what we saw in the First World War and the Second World War. Those are things that I'm going to explain how it's happening and what is the right question. And this is the very most important thing. What is the right question? And then we will start to understand how to live in our life. And this is before I started to say also things from the Shulchan Aruch that Rabbi Cherki already, he didn't publish it yet, okay? We didn't publish the Shulchan Aruch, but I have it here. Just a moment, we'll find it for a moment. We have the Shulchan Aruch. And from next week, hopefully, you see this is the Hebrew edition. From next week, we're going to also to learn every time, a few important things that we can start to do as a Noahide people. Okay.
Wow. I'm looking forward to that. That's exciting.
So those are two things that we're going to speak next week. First of all, we're going to see this chapter 4 in Genesis in an interesting, thought-provoking way of understanding. And the second thing is we'll also start to speak about the Shulchan Aruch for Noahide people. Questions, notes, something. Good to see you. First of all, good to see you. I missed you for the last few weeks. Yes.
Rabbi, I have a question from third verse. Before the killing of Abel by Cain. It said...
Let me share this screen again, just a moment.
Yeah. And it came to pass in the end of the days. What does it mean? in the end of the days, in the beginning of the days. It was the beginning of it said that
Just a moment. Let me go to this sentence, to this verse.
3.
Yes. I will tell you this. Listen good. It's very important. How I'm giving this on my course of 5 mistakes how to learn the Bible. Okay,
Right.
how to learn the Bible. The truth is,
it's
that, as I said, no, listen good, Natas, listen good. When Adam and Eve gave birth, okay, and Cain came to this world, he was the Messiah for his parents. We explained that, right?
Right.
He was the Messiah because he brought them to the level that they're not only receiving life, they're also giving life. So they are connected with God. So when they gave birth to Cain, he was the Messiah for his parents. Okay? Then Abel came, and Abel was supposed to teach him, to educate him, to be the educator, how to accept others, not only himself. So at this point of time, verse number 3 was supposed to close the Bible, and the end of days came. You remember that we spoke about this in chapter number 2? Chapter number 2, okay, that we don't have the closing of the 7th day.
Right.
Remember that? So now we can close the 7th day in chapter number 4 because it's the end of the days. Listen good, it's the end of the days. That's it. Now, if everything will be okay, we will close the history. The end
the whole
will
purpose.
come, and the history will come because Cain and Abel, all of them will do everyone his job. We can close it, and then the next sentence will be, and it was the 7th day, it was the 8th, it was day, it was night, 7th day was finished, and now we can go on to the 8th day. But what happened? Cain managed to behave like he is Cain. He is the most important and everything else. Abel didn't do his job and he wasn't the educator for Cain. So everything got complicated and it wasn't the end of days. So we continue on with the history.
Yeah.
So at this point of time, if you ask me, this point of time, when I'm reading this verse, today, I know that I have a very long day, very long history since then, okay, more than, say, 5,000 years. But when God is writing down this verse, this could be the end of days. Okay, so Cain he didn't took the right way, the right path in life. So God in verse 6 is saying to him, why are you so sad? Why did your face is falling down? It depends on you. If you will behave in the right way, it will be the end of days. But he didn't do that. So it's not the end of days. Not us. Start to read the Bible in the right way. You with me?
Right. Wow.
Simple. Very simple. When something is true, it's very simple. You with me, Matas? It's okay?
Yeah. Timothy has a question, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, Timothy. Yes.
I think I have an important question. So, what do we need to do to teach? Well, first of all, are there any descendants of Cain still? And what do we need to do to teach him?
First of all, it's not an important question. It's a very, very, very important question. It's the most important question here because we're learning things. And the question always, when we're learning the Bible, what did it say to me today? Because the Bible is it's something that's written down by God, and therefore it's forever. It's not something that you can say it's not worth anymore. It's not like in Aladdin that he says at the end of the story, ask me, then I will, this law that you can't marry the daughter of the Sultan, it will vanish. Now, everything is written down here, so it have connection to us. Those two questions that you have, we will answer them in much profound way and continuous in our lessons, okay? But there is. By the way, I will say Esav, okay, the son of Jacob, It's similar, some sort of things to Cain in his behavior, and we will speak about this when we'll come to those chapters. We'll take
Thank
a
you
bit
very
of time,
much.
but we'll be there. But it's a very, very important question. It's very thing. And the second question that you had, how do we need to behave today? There's all those things that we're going to explain a bit also next week.
I hope to be there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maximum it will be on the air, with that. No, the truth is that I will find the time. I'm starting to reorganize all of those things to short courses, that have an hour course or something like that, 40 minutes hour course, so people can go and start to learn it in order, not only to see it as a full hour that it's not in order, but we'll also manage with this. First of all, it's very good to see you all again. Once
I
again.
missed you too, Rabbi.
Matas, we spoke of reorganizing time together, and we didn't manage to do that yet. So hopefully this Wednesday night, let's try to sit down and to meet one each other. Okay, Matas, you with me? Okay, just say to me yes or no.
Tonight or?
No, Wednesday night, Wednesday.
Okay.
Let's try to speak Wednesday night. Okay.
Yeah.
Oleg went out from the screen, so I'll speak with him also with this. And hope to see you all next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yes, okay. And Dan, a lot of success with this magazine.
Yeah,
Send me
coming
also
out this weekend.
No, send me links because I'm going to publish this also in a lot of platforms that I have also.
It's going to be crystal clear, Rabbi.
So good.
Okay. So see you all. Thank you very much.
Folks, thanks again. Have a wonderful week. We hope to see you again next week. Bye for now.
Bye, Yitzhak also.